Welcome inside the instance. You've completed the hardest part of DRS, and that is actually getting inside. From here on out, it should be a pretty smooth sailing. If you're new, you're going to have a cutscene. Once you get out of that cutscene, you will notice that we are trapped in Gay Baby Jail. Unfortunate. Once this barrier around us drops, you'll notice 2 glowing pads in front of us. Please do not touch these glowing pads. The glowing pads will take us down to our first encounter with no way back up. Do not take the glowing pads. If you take those glowing pads, again, there is no way back up. We want to make sure we're fully prepared before we go down. Go ahead, go down to the Lost Finds cache. You'll want to pop a Pure Essence and a Re-Razor. Make sure you have a Pure Essence and Re-Razor, as those are the bare minimums. In addition, please make sure you also have good Lost Actions equipped. I like to check around, see what Lost Actions people are bringing, and if you're bringing something that doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask you to swap it around. If you're confused on what to bring, there are those beginner holsters. Again, those are linked in the Anyprog required reading, which was asked of you to read if you were new. Once you have everything you need, you'll see the way markers behind us. If you're in parties A, B, C, D, just go to those markers. The 3 is for party E and the 4 is for party F. Also, before you go back to your party's waymark, make sure that you have filled your holster back up to maximum capacity. We want to make sure that we have everything that we need before we drop down, as again, there is no way back here once we get started. And as Wobble says, while people are sorting out their actions, this is an instance. This instance does have a 10-minute AFK kick timer. If you are tabbed out, looking at a different screen, not tapped into the game, not moving for 10 minutes or longer, you will be kicked out of the instance with no way back in. Okay, I'm gonna start looking at some actions. Callium, please do not use a irregular essence. Irregular is an essence that requires a lot of support. Please just use a pure essence. Pure essence of the Indomitable 4 tanks. Again, that irregular essence. If you are not babysat properly, if you are not playing properly, you will get one-shot by basically any damage source. Other than that, we have all pure essences. Good. Oh, I need to pop a Re-Razor. I'm so cringe. Yep, there are several DPS who already have the Excellence and Font of Power. There are also a couple casters who have that Excellence Font of Magic. For those of you that plan to bring Mimic, okay, I'm going to start taking a peek at actions. As a reminder, please bring damage-focused actions, or at least actions that will help us. For example, Steel Sting and Dispel, those actions will not be needed till the second fight. Please don't bring those actions right now. Just keep them in your holster for later. Start with something like an Arise, start with something like a Chain Spell, start with something like a Full Cure or a Seraph Strike. Also, I'm going to highly recommend that if you are in a party, please double check your party members. Double check their actions, make sure what they are bringing makes sense, as I can look at actions, but I don't really always feel comfortable calling out the direct names. So please just discuss within your parties, make sure people are bringing stuff that makes sense. Okay. Relics, if you do not have enough of the actions, what I'm going to recommend is, do you have Banner of Noble Ends if you don't have Honored Sacrifice? Oh wait, no, that was the wrong person. Oh, that person just left. Okay, never mind. Oh well. That sucks. I feel bad for them, feel bad for that party who is now missing a tank. But what can you do? I just want to confirm that party does have another tank, right? Which party was that? Party F, I believe.
No, F
Party
is fine.
E. Okay, party is fine. Good. Yep, you'll be fine then. If we one-shot Slimes and Golems. If we don't, then I will call on support. Get someone else in there. And again, Minafe, if you could please swap your actions to something that will actually help us on the first fight. Steel Sting and Dispel just are not going to be very useful until our second major fight. That's about an hour into the instance. Thank you. Again, if you want some actions, suggestions, something like an Arise, something like a Chain Spell. If you're a white mage, something like a Seraph Strike or even a Full Cure are good actions. With that said, basically all our actions are good. Again, at this time, go ahead and open your Lost Finds poster. Make sure that it is filled with all the actions that you need. Again, Cure 4 casters want to have Cure 4s. Tanks, make sure you have at least 2 Ether Shields and 2 Shells ready. If you are the only tank in your party, or the Ether Shield tank for your duo tank party. And yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste too much time up here. So, if you're in parties D, E, and F, please open Discord. You're going to swap voice channels. There's a Golem's voice channel below this one. Please swap to that if you're in parties D, E, and F. Yeah. Down there, you'll be led by someone, hopefully, probably. I mean, Silent Golems is possible anyways, so, like, it's fine. If you're in parties A, B, and C, you're going to be staying up here. You're going to be listening to me. Unfortunate. Again, go ahead and double check your holsters. And at this time, if you have everything you need, that includes your Pure Essence, your Reuser, and a full holster as well as 2 good actions, walk straight down and take the jump pad in front of us. Again, parties A, B, and C can go ahead and drop down, take the jump pad straight in front of us, where we're going to be doing Golem. Or that's a lie, we're going to be doing Slimes, right? Okay, at this time, I'm going to put out some markers, but please do not stand on them. I like to do my Slimes assignments a specific way, so please don't stand on markers until I call for them. So, welcome to the Slime side. Slimes is the quote-unquote harder side, but that's just because there are a lot of moving parts. In reality, it is very simple. Everyone just has one very basic job that they need to pay attention to. Couple of things you should know before we get started. In this encounter, there are going to be a total of 3 traps. All of the traps are glowing circles, and they will all kill you. We do have a Perceptor who will be percepting the traps. Chaos knows what they're doing, surely. Yep. We have the trap locations already put out in Yell Chat. So, please do not go into the rooms that will have the traps, I'll talk about that later, until they are found. With that out of the way, I'm going to start assignments. At this time, I will need 1 tank each on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 way lines. So tanks, I will need 1 of you on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect, we have 1 tank on each. Go ahead and turn on your tank stances, you guys are going to be the tanks. I recognize all of your names, so I don't need to explain too much. For everyone who is not a tank though, tanks are going to be managing basically all of the green slimes. Tanks are going to be the ones grabbing green slimes from the middle, they're going to be holding the green slimes, and are going to be our clear condition. Next up, each tank will need 1 healer. Healers, please go to the 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will need 1 healer on each tank. Any green job, 1 each. Perfect. Oh, I see Chirin DCing. That's not a good sign. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm gonna go and put Hex 5, 6, 7, and 8 on you, respective to your rooms. Healers, your job is going to be just as simple as the tanks, if not simpler. Your job is going to be first and foremost to keep the tanks alive. Tanks are going to be taking continuous damage throughout this encounter, and it's going to get higher as the time goes on. So please make sure to use single target heals, stuff like your Cure 2s, even your regens in this encounter. This is the one place where you can break that rule of not using any kind of mitigation or healing. Past that, you will have one final job at the very end. At the very end, you are going to need to pull one green slime from the middle and hold it in the corner of your room. At this time in DRS Learning, I'm going to post a set of images that will help you out. If you look in there, healers, you will notice the second image shows you where you stand during slimes. I'm going to ask the healers to stand on these inner corners. So for example, in room 1, you would stand right on the opposite side of this wall. Room 2, you would stand on like the opposite side of this wall. So on and so forth, same for the north too. Just stand on the north inner corners. Make sure that you are standing on those inner corners. As if you stand too close to the middle, you can pull the slimes even through the walls. They are proximity aggro. With that said, that's healing. Healing's very easy. If you have a question, please say something now. Otherwise, come jump in the middle on me, Hex 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, I'm only asking the Hex 5, 6, 7, and 8. I know William is trolling as per usual, but Hex 5, 6, 7, 8, if you have a question, please say something now. Otherwise, I'm gonna assume you guys are ready. Okay, I see no questions. I'll answer them as they come up. Yeah, that's going to be next. Next up are going to be two players of any role. I'll need 2 players, one on A, one on B. Anyone can do this. Just need them on A and B. Perfect. I see CL in the north and Xanatan in the south. You guys are going to be... Oh wait, no, William's in the north. Okay, cool. There we go. You two are going to be our hallway tanks. Your job is very simple. You're going to stand on the north and south respectively, William in the north, Xanatan on the south. There are going to be some ads that spawn there occasionally. You're just going to hit those, and you're going to kill them slowly. Xanatan, again, your only job is to kill the motion soldiers. Please don't mess with any green slimes, don't mess with any red slimes. Just sit basically right here where I'm standing now, and hit the motion soldiers as they spawn. Very easy, very simple. I don't even need to ask you if you understand it, because that is all there is to it. Next up and finally is going to be our DPS roles. DPS roles are very, very easy. I'm going to draft you 2 rooms. When I say your name and a marker, please go to that room. Panda Rice Bowl if you could go to 1. Shino Hana if you could go to 2. Tanuo if you could go to 3. Izumi if you could go to 4. Ciel if you go to 1, Spoon if you could go to 2, Wata if you could go to 3, Ariel if you could go to 4, Ola if you could go to 1, Erno if you could go to 2, Wobble if you could go to 3, Kyra if you could go to 4, and Jatavi, I'm just gonna have you go to 2. Perfect. These are the rooms you're going to be assigned to. If it wasn't clear already, these rooms are literally the room layouts. So the southwest one marker is the southwest room, so on and so forth. Southeast to southeast. You know the deal. DPS, your job is very simple, but it's probably the most critical out of the encounter. Your job is going to be to kill the red slimes. In each room, there's going to be a red slime that spawns every 30 seconds to 1 minute. Sometimes they just choose not to spawn. Don't ask. These red slimes are very important as we need to kill them as they spawn. You're going to use your basic GCD rotation, your 1, 2, 3 combo, in order to not only kill the red slimes, but also build your job's gauge. If your job has a gauge, whether you are a dancer who needs feathers, a samurai who needs stickers, or a red mage who needs mana, make sure that you use this encounter as a chance to build it. But you should also focus on killing the red slimes. The red slimes do need to die as soon as possible, so attack them once, pull them back to the corner, and kill them. Also, if it wasn't clear by the positions during slime clear image, DPS, you are going to be on the outer corner. For example, in room 4, you are going to be all the way back in this, let me see if I can sway more. Nah, I'm just too watch. Bad host, bad player. There we go. You're going to be all the way back in that corner in the pile of rubble in room 4. In room 3, you're going to be all the way back in... No, I'm actually just a bad player. You're going to be all the way back there, not like that, more like that. And in room 2 and 1, should be the same thing. You just stand on the far corners, as far from the center of the arena as possible. You're going to pull them back there and kill them. Okay. As a final reminder, in this arena, there are going to be 3 traps total. There's going to be 1 trap in the center of the arena. If you look out and see that brown line going through the center, that is going to be where the trap is going to spawn. In addition, there are going to be 2 rooms that have a trap in them. We know from Teoth's perception that there is one in the southeast room, that is the 2 room, and there's one in one of the 2 north rooms. So if you are in the 1 room or one of the 2 north rooms, what I'm going to ask is, instead of entering the room, please just stand in the doorway until it is percepted and cleared out by Teoth. I will let you know when all the traps are found, but until then, please hesitate to enter your room until it is percepted. Just stand in the doorway, you can perform your same duties there. That's basically all I have to say. At this time, double check your stances if you are tanking, double check your Cardias, Carbuncles, stance partners, make sure you have all of that set up before we go in. I'm going to ask parties to run a ready check. When your party is ready, let me know in yell chat. A is ready, B is ready, let me know in C is ready. Also, this time, go ahead and jump around for me. As mentioned, there is a 10-minute AFK timer. The best prevention for this is to just move around every once in a while, shake your camera, move your character. Okay. All of Slimes is ready. We're just waiting on Golems. As soon as Golems is ready, we'll start a countdown. At this time, I'm going to go over 2 other things real quick. I'm going to recommend that whenever I open the door, I'm going to recommend you pop some raid food. Raid food will give you a bit of extra damage, a bit of extra health, and if you pop it now, it'll last for either any attempts we make at barracks, or it'll last up through the first fight, or maybe even both. I'm going to start a 30-second countdown. Again, go ahead and get ready. Check your stances, check your Cardias, your Carbuncles, dance partners, all of that stuff. I'm going to open the door in about 20 seconds. As a reminder, the only room that guaranteed does not have a trap is room 1. So if you're in rooms 2, 3, and 4, just go in front of your doorway once the trap in the middle is found, and wait for the room to be percepted. When I open the door, tank 1 is going to grab the 3 slimes that drop down. Door is opening, Preceptor go on. Go ahead and head to your rooms once the middle is percepted. Tank 1 is going to grab their 3. All DPS get to your rooms. Red slimes have dropped down, pull them back to the doorway or to your corner, whichever is safer. Tank 2, go ahead and grab your 3 slimes. As a reminder, there is a trap still in one of the 2 north rooms. Tank 2, grab your 3, pull them back to your pad. Tank 3, get ready, you're going to grab the next 3 that just dropped down. DPS, there's another red slime that just dropped down, pull it back. All traps have been found, you are safe to enter rooms. Tank 4, you're going to grab the next 3 slimes that dropped down. Please grab them up and pull them back to your room. Red slimes have dropped down, please pull them out, pull them back to your corners. Tank 1 is going to grab 2 next. Tanks 2 and 3, you guys can both get to your doorways. Tanks 2 and 3, get to your doorways now. We're gonna have Tank 2 grab 2 green slimes, and then Tank 3 will grab the next 2. Tank 2, grab 2 slimes. Tank 3, get ready to grab 2. Red slimes have dropped down, please pull them to your corners. Tank 3, grab your 2 slimes. Tank 4, go ahead and get ready, you're gonna grab 2 of these slimes that just dropped down. In addition, healer marked 5 can go ahead and grab 1 green slime once Tank 4 has gotten theirs. All healers can now grab 1 green slime from the middle. If you're marked with a hex marker, please go grab 1 slime from the middle. Again, all healers marked with a hex, please go grab one green slime from the middle. You will need one of them. Just use your glare, your dosis, your malefic, your broil. Pull it back to the corner that you were standing in. Room 4 will still need a slime. If one of the healers in there could just grab it. Thank you. Kyra. Pull it back to that corner. At this time, tanks, please target the slime that your healers brought into your rooms. I'm going to give you a countdown. At the end of the countdown, you're going to press provoke and pull it through the middle of your big green slime. We're doing it in 3, 2, 1. Provoke that slime. Pull that slime through the middle of your big green slime. Pull it through the middle of your big green slime. Once they are both fusing, you are free to run out into the middle of the hallway. Rooms 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all good. All tanks can run out. Everyone can run out into the hallway. Follow me. We're going to run to the north. We're going to run out to the north and then to the east. Run out to the north and then to the east. Run out through the north set of doors and then all the way to the east. Don't worry, you cannot fall off of this bridge. Just auto-run all the way into this tight northeast corner. Get all the way tucked in. Healers, if you see someone falling behind us, please rescue them in. And tuck into the corner. Perfect. We one-shot it. That is great. Go ahead and take the jump pad, unless someone in your party is dead. Take that jump pad on up. We are going to be getting to our first boss. I'm ready for people to jump up to start explaining anything. Okay, I see a couple names still in golems. I'm just gonna forcefully move them up. At this time, please make sure you grab the 2 chests at the bottom of the stairs. Those chests at the bottom of the stairs are going to be your own chests. I cannot take them from you even if I wanted to. Please make sure that you grab those chests from the bottom of the stairs, and all future chests that spawn after each boss. With that said, welcome to Trinity Seeker. I'm gonna keep explanations much shorter than I normally do. That's not to say that they won't be long, but they are going to be short. Okay, I'm gonna go and put down markers. Welcome to Trinity Seeker. Trinity Seeker is going to be a very simple boss, but it is very, very fast, and it's probably the hardest boss in the instance. But once you are used to our third boss, Trinity Avowed. This is probably the second most likely boss for you to die a lot to. So make sure that you are just paying attention to callouts, make sure that you are playing safe, and playing to stay alive. A couple of mechanics you should watch out for. I'm gonna go and do Guide Seeker unless someone already did it. Oh, someone already did it, Pockets. If you look into your learning, there's some images that will help you understand what I'm talking about with the images, or with the mechanics. The first mechanic I'm going to tell you about is Fourfold Mercy. Fourfold Mercy is basically the same as the normal mode mechanic, actually. So if you've done normal mode, which you hopefully have, it's literally the same thing. It lights up 4 swords, then does 4 slashes, except probably 3 times faster. You will need to move before there is orange at your feet, not after, as if you move when you see orange, it is way too late. I will call out when to move boss relative, so I'll say something like back, back, front, front, or front, back, back, front. I'm telling you where to stand for each slash, so if I say back, front, front, back, I'm telling you to stand at the back for the first, move to the front for 2 more slashes, then move behind it for the last. After that's going to be Seasons of Mercy. Seasons of Mercy is going to be a set of checkerboard AoEs, followed by a gaze mechanic, then it's going to be another set of checkerboards, and then a big pink AoE. Make sure that you resolve the mechanics in that order. You'll need to dodge the ice AoEs each time, and then resolve the second one. I will say something like dodge ice and look away from number, dodge ice and move towards number, or move away from number. Other than that, that's basically all there is. There is one new savage mechanic, and that is going to be Baleful Firestorm. Baleful Firestorm is going to have clones spawn on the outside. They're going to do big explosions, so you'll need to be in the center of the arena. Then you'll need to head out next to the first clone that spawned, and rotate around the outside of the arena as each dash goes off. It's important to note that Baleful Firestorm is a downtime mechanic if you're a melee, and I will ask us to hold any damage buffs or any 2-minute bursts should they come up around them. Speaking of that, that is the second thing I'm going to talk about. That is all the mechanics out of the way, but I do need to talk about the other important thing, and that is going to be your lost actions. If you look into DRS Learning once more, there's a set of images that tells you how to use the lost actions I asked you all to bring. Lost actions are very, very, very important. We want to make sure that we are using our lost actions appropriately. I'm going to go over the basics. First and foremost, basically everything is going to revolve around your 2-minute window. If you know your job, you already know that there is a 2-minute window associated with it. All jobs are based around this 2-minute window. You want to be building gauge for your 2-minute window when there are a lot of buffs, and spend all of it inside that window. Lost actions only augment this by adding more damage to it and making it more centralizing. So, if you have a font of power, font of magic, you will want to use that off cooldown unless I tell you to hold it specifically, as that is going to be your biggest damage buff in your 2-minute window. Additionally, if you have a Banner of Honored Sacrifice, or a Chain Spell, or a Dervish, that is a 90-second cooldown, but you also want to hold it for the 2-minute window, as again, all things are based on the 2-minute window. If you use it off cooldown, you will lose a lot of damage. Finally, Rend Armors, you will want, our Rend 1 is going to want to use it off cooldown. Leon, I'm sure you know how that works. Rend 2, you're going to hold it for the 30-second window and press it then. Once you use it the first time, you can just use it off cooldown. Real quick, go ahead and move around, and if you are a caster at this time, please press your Cure 4 now. If you're a caster, press your Cure 4 now, see how much that heals. You see how much it heals you. It heals so much. I'm seeing 21,000, like 22,000, huge numbers. At this time, if you're a healer, please press your basic AoE heal, press your Medica, press your Helios, press your, Prognosis? I don't know, whatever the AoE one is. That is only healing for about 30k. As you notice, healers, your heals are sadly not buffed by your Pure Essence. They are not very strong, and sadly we will need to rely on Cure 4 casters for most of our healing instead. Healers, your job is not necessarily to heal, but mostly to arise and do and carry utility for the party. As well as doing what little damage you can, since again, your Pure Essence is very sad, it doesn't boost your damage much, and it does not boost your healing. So casters, again, you are the main healers of your party. Make sure that you are pressing that not just every minute in order to keep that bravery buff up, but also to do big healing for your party whenever it is needed. I think that's basically all for actions at this time. If you have any questions, please ask them now. Again, there are no bad questions. No matter how dumb it is, I promise I have heard dumber. I will love you. If you have a dumb question, just ask it if you have one. But if you have no questions and you are ready, please step up to scene. Where do babies come from? You should ask your parents that. You should really be asking your parents, not like a 20-year-old. Well, I think Seeker is a perfect example of body horror, made a really cool, but also really terrifying. Like, imagine if you were stuck with your lover as well as his brother, like, just fused into one body. Like, that'd be pretty tough. Let me know whenever Sharon is back. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started in just a moment. Okay, Tyrion is back. At this time, click off any buffs you don't need. That'll be stuff like auto potions, auto ethers if you're in melee, any kinds of shells or bubbles. I'm gonna start a 30-second countdown. Right now, if you need caster actions, Wobble has it with a circle, Alrone has it with a triangle. Go and pop some raid food if you have it. Raid food gives you a big damage bonus, a bit of HP. That second part's not really needed, but it is nice to have. Cure 4 casters, you can press Cure 4 now to get that bravery going before we even pull. And we are pulling. This boss starts with a raid wide, but please don't use too much mitigation. It really doesn't hurt that much with Pure Essences on. Go and stack up behind the boss. Cure 4 casters, get ready to heal everyone. Do your 2-minute windows. Next up is going to be 4-fold Mercy. Let's see how washed I truly am. We are starting at the front of the boss. We're starting at the front of the boss for 2 slashes, then behind it for 2 more slashes. In front of the boss for 2, behind the boss for 2. Count 2 slashes, then move through the boss to its back. 1, 2, move behind the boss. We're gonna dodge ice and look away from 1. Dodge ice, look away from 1. Dodge ice and move towards 1. Move towards 1 now. We're gonna go ahead and get under the boss's hitbox. Get under the boss's hitbox now. Okay, I'm gonna mark myself as ignore 1. Stay away from me, ignore 1. Stay away from the ignore 1, get behind the boss. Next up, especially make sure to stay behind the boss. Please stay away from me. If you are up with me, we both die. Go and stack together. As in a bit, there's going to be a chain mechanic. This chain mechanic is just like the vault. Do not move until you see the chain icon disappear. Stack together, you're gonna see that chain icon. Once you see the chains disappear, run apart behind a barricade. Run behind any barricade. Run behind any barricade after breaking your chains. Behind a barricade. Do as I say, not as I do. Go and get back in towards the center of the arena. There's going to be a set of meteors. Get in towards the center of the arena for a set of big explosions on the outside. 2-minute buffs are coming up. Please hold on to them for a little bit. Head out towards the barrier at 2. Head out towards the barrier at 2. We're going to rotate around and behind the barrier at 3. Rotate behind the barrier at 3. Behind the barrier at 3. Behind the barrier at 3. And get back in on the boss. 2-minute buffs can be used now. Stack together. Stack together. Stack with me on the ignore 1. There's going to be a line AoE followed by some baited line AoEs. If at this point you have died, please pop another re-raiser. You can pop those from your Lost Lines holster. Use your 2 minutes to use your damage first. Big damage. When you see orange at your feet, simply move out of it. Easiest mechanic in Final Fantasy XIV. Dodge the line AoEs. Next up, we're going to move to brown sand. Look on the ground, move out of the brown sand. Move onto brown sand. Move onto brown sand. I am so washed. I'm sorry. Get inner cardinal of the boss. Diagonals are safe. Max melee is safe but scary. Be diagonal from the boss. Diagonal from the boss. Rip Chirin, who is DCing again. Get in towards the center of the arena. I heard you liked those Ifrit dashes, so we're gonna have more of them. Get ready to go out. We're going to be heading out towards 4. Head out towards 4. Head out towards 4. Follow around, rotate around. We're going to have a crossover pattern. It is going to be right, left, left, right. Right, left, left, right. Get on the boss's right side with the ignore 1. After 1 slash, move through. Move through the boss. Stand on its left for 2 slashes. 1, 2, move through the boss. We're going to dodge ice and look away from 1. Dodge ice again and move towards 1. Move towards 1. Move towards 1. Stack together, there's going to be a chains. Break these chains apart, and then come back together. Break those chains, and then stack back together behind the boss. Raid wide, Cure 4 casters. Make sure that you're keeping that bravery up, and make sure to heal people after this raid wide. Again, if you died, you can pop another re-raiser. Stay away from the ignore 1. Ignore 1 is taking a tank buster. If you're there, you are also gonna get hit. Boss is going to jump back middle. For the hardest mechanic in the fight, this is going to be Fourfold Mercy with that Iron Splitter mechanic. Go and start up towards the 2. Easy. We're going left for 2, right for 2. Start on the left side of the boss, count 2 slashes, then move through. Also stand on the blue brick. Stand on blue brick under the boss is safe. Under the boss is blue brick is safe. 1, 2 slashes, move through and move to brown sand. Move through it to brown sand. Brown sand. Next up, we're gonna have one more. Stay on the brown sand and get ready for a Seasons of Mercy. Brown sand is safe. Seasons of Mercy. We're gonna dodge ice and look away from 3. Dodge ice, then lines, move towards 4. Dodge ice, then lines. Ice, then lines. Move towards 4. We are not very close to limit break. Go and stack together. This is going to be raid wide, followed by that same under is safe mechanic. Go and stand under the boss now. Cheerful casters heal everyone back up. Healers keep trying to arise any dead bodies. And let's just kill the boss. Again, under the boss is the safest place to be. Be under it. Boss is going to jump back middle. Let's hope we don't see this mechanic. Just work on killing the boss. We may have to resolve this. We will see. Okay, we're going to be getting in front of the barricade. Get in front of the barricade at 4. Stay on the boss in front of the barricade at 4. We're going to stay on this side for 2 slashes, then move through towards the 3 side after 2. Count 2 slashes, then move through this clone. Move through the clone. 1, 2, move through the clone. Never mind. Perfect. We have a couple dead bodies. Make sure to pick them up and do not go ahead as there are a bunch of traps ahead. Do not move ahead. There are a bunch of traps ahead. Tailth is going to find all the traps for us. Do not go ahead. Once the traps are found, we're going to go to the right. Please do not take that jump pad. Be in front of us. That glowing golden pad is for one person only. That is for Tail. Go and head towards the right. We are going to be going towards the Dahu Arena. Do not go towards that glowing pad unless your name is Tail. Or at this point, well, you could probably take it. It'd be justified at this point. Like, additionally, if you were the Cure Forecaster or Dervish user in Tail's party, that would be Wobble to Bobble and Shinohana. Once you guys are alive and well, please go towards the BAD markers, as that is where Tail will be asking you for buffs. Chirin is DCing again. God bless. I'm gonna let Tail take over for all the buffs and stuff. You're free to coordinate that in party chat or shop chat, however you like. Feel free to use a countdown or the instance timer. For everyone else, I'm gonna ask you to back up away from the Dahu Arena. The boss in front of us, we cannot pull it until we see the duelist start their fight. If we pull the boss and the duelist has not gone up towards the fight, then they will not be able to take the jump pad and we will not get the extra plating, nor will we get the double damage bonus on that person. If you see a countdown, please do not worry, that is not for us. Healers, once everyone is arrived, feel free to head back. I assume everyone is up by the fact that most of the healers are here now. Yep, perfect. Again, this countdown is not for Dahu. Do not walk towards the arena. Do not look at Dahu. I'm going to explain everything you need to about Dahu during this countdown. And that includes pulling up the waymarks. Now, welcome to Dahu. I'm going to explain everything you need to know about Dahu. Simply, do not stand in the bad, the B, the A, the D. Don't stand in the bad and you will be safe. There's just going to be a bunch of orange dodge, and that is basically all the fight is. Okay, feel free to approach the arena, but do not touch the boss, do not look at the boss, do not interact with the boss. As soon as we see the RP text appear on screen, we're going to pull this boss. Shinohana and Wobble are here, the boss has been pulled, and we are going to pull Dahu. By the way, tanks, turn off your tank stances if you're not me. I should have said it before Seeker. Get on towards the boss, and get ready to dodge puddles at your feet. Dodge puddles at your feet. If you want, you can get towards the north of Dahu. Dodge puddles at your feet. Dahu is going to charge south, then north. Get out of the front of Dahu, he's charging at 4. You can get towards the north wall. Do not be towards the exact north wall though. Get in towards Dahu, dodge his big conal. I'm gonna pull the boss towards the middle. If you are ranged, you can stay out against the wall, but melee, make sure to follow inside. There's going to be some line AoEs to dodge. Again, range can stay out towards the wall. Everyone else can get in. Dodge these lines, and if you get a marker on your head, you take it out to any out on the wall. Take these out to any out on the wall and do not stack them. If you have a dot on your head, take it out to an out on the wall. Dots out to any ad. Make sure you use lost actions, by the way. We want to use lost actions here and everywhere. Next up is going to be a left-right, get out of the orange, then move where the orange was. Get out of the orange, move where the orange was. Perfect. Finally is a knockback, find a spot where there is no ad. North and 1 are both safe. You can use a gap close here to dodge the knockback if you're a real gamer. And get in towards the boss on his right shoulder. Get in towards the boss on his right shoulder. We're going to rotate around once, twice, and the D is safe if you are not wanting to move anymore. You are free to stand on the D or anywhere to its left or right, depending on your POV. Next up is going to be some ads. Again, please make sure that if you have not used a charge of lost actions here already, you do so. We want to use lost actions on trash as well as bosses. There's going to be some ads. I'm going to wiggle them under the boss. Make sure to use some AoEs on them. We want to kill these ads and make sure that I don't die. Healers, again, this is another place you can break that rule of no healing and keep me alive. Alternatively, Wobble's probably got it. You can make that guy suffer. It'll be funny. Kill the ads, kill Dahu. Last chance to build your job's gauge. If you have red mage mana, warrior gauge, whatever you need, get it now. Kill the boss. Very good. Make sure that you grab your personal spoils and make sure you grab the personal spoils from Trinity Seeker. There's a chest of Trinity Seeker. If you have not grabbed that already, go back and get it. This is your last chance to get it. Otherwise, if you have grabbed both, make sure to take the jump pad down where we're going to get to the next arena, Queen's Guard. Ciel, your party still has Cure 4, right? Or...
Yeah. I just didn't count properly and I couldn't overslot it, Seeker. I didn't have enough.
Oh, okay. At this time, go ahead and move in towards the arena. Do not target the bosses. We're going to use the bridge for some assignments once we get to that point. So again, go ahead and get towards the arena. Don't worry about the waymarks. We'll get to that in just a moment. Now, first and foremost, I will need another tank to take the bosses with me. If any tank can do this, preferably a Vex, preferably someone who's done it before. Perfect tempo. You want mids or walls?
Chaining mids, please.
Poggers. No death wall for you today. I'll take the wall bosses. Yeah, I'm not gonna have any fun, Sag. Okay. With that said, that is an initial assignment done. I'm gonna get started explaining Queen's Buff. Vets, this is your time to go cook dinner, go get a drink, do whatever. Longest explanations, as always. At this time, I'm gonna put some guides in DRS learning and get started. So, welcome to Queen's Guard. This boss is actually very easy. However, there are a lot of things to explain. One, because a lot of the mechanics just don't make sense when you first see them, but if I explain it, it'll make more sense to you. And secondly, a lot of these mechanics are going to show up during the final fight as well. So anytime I spend explaining this boss, also goes towards explaining Queen, so it's more time I waste here instead of there. But yeah, I'm going to get started with explanations. So, just like normal mode, when we pull the bosses, they're going to be all grouped up. They're going to do some raid wides. And then, once they jump, they're going to come back down. However, instead of being one by one, they're going to come back in pairs. The first pair we're going to fight is going to be the warrior and the knight. During the Warrior in the Night, this is going to be the check for a couple actions. The first of which is going to be Spellforge and Steel Sting. Healers, you are going to need to bring Spellforge and Steel Sting. You're going to need to use Spellforge and Steel Sting on this fight. As I said, it's about an hour in. There is a little graphic of jobs, of what job needs what Spellforge or Steel Sting at the top of the guide. However, keep in mind it's a little out of date because Bard isn't and never was actually a hybrid. And Viper is a Spellforge Eater, and Pictomancer is a Steel Sting Eater. It's just not updated for Dawntrail, but basically nothing too much has changed. Magic jobs need Steel Sting, physical jobs need Spellforge. Any jobs that do hybrid damage like Dark Knight, Paladin, Ninja, Reaper, or Red Mage will need both, depending on whichever it is. There should be no healers with I don't think there's any solo healer parties. I could be wrong. I actually don't remember how I set up the PF, but yeah. If there are two healers in your party, decide who's using Spellforge, who is using Steel Sting. If you were somehow a solo healer, all you're gonna do is start with Spellforge, give it to everyone, and if needed, you will apply Steel Sting then. But yeah, that is the first check. It is a healer-only mechanic. However, if you were a DPS, your healers might be expecting you to click off a Spellforge should it be needed. So again, be ready to pay attention to your buffs, see which one you have, and be ready to remove the ones you don't need. If you are on console, there's actually a command you can use that you don't have to manually click it off. I don't remember what it is. If someone wants to put it in DRS learning, I don't have it available. Again, I haven't solo hosted in like 3 months, but yeah. Okay, next mechanic, and the real mechanic of the phase is going to be there are two mechanics that make up this phase. First is reversal of forces. Oh, there you go. Tumble has posted it. If you're a console user, you can put this into your you can put this into a macro and just press it whenever I say to click off buffs. Okay. The first mechanic is the first real mechanic I'm going to worry about is reversal of forces. This is going to be a cast that applies a tether to certain players. You may or may not have a tether attached to you when this cast goes off. It is random. What you'll need to do is move around or check your debuffs. If you move around and see a tether moving with you, then that is your tether. If you see a debuff on you, then that is also your tether. What I will say is something like tethers to large bombs, rest to small bomb. Or I might say something like tethers to green, rest to purple. Just check what kind of tether you have and get ready to react accordingly. The second major mechanic is going to be the Shield or Sword Omen. This is a cast that comes from the Knight. The Knight is going to cast Shield or Sword Omen. This is going to change how we have to resolve a mechanic that the Knight does. The first time we see it, this is going to indicate either a knockback or a large AoE from the edge of the arena. If it is a knockback, you will need to get knocked away from both the Knight and the Orb. So, Knight's going to dash through the middle. You want to stand towards the Knight, but not in line with it. If you're in line with the Knight, he will just dash through you and kill you. If you were in line with a ball, and you get knocked back with the ball, then he will knock you with the ball, and you will also explode with the ball. Please make sure that you get knocked back towards the Knight, or, but not in line with it, or even just at a 90-degree angle from the Knight. Just do not get knocked back in the direction the Knight is charging. That is, the second time we see Sword or Shield Omen, it's actually much simpler. It's just an in or out cleave. However, 2/3 of the arena are going to be unsafe. So, I'm going to ask you to press your sprint and run under the boss, and you are going to run either in or out of the boss hitbox on the side that is safe. You'll see when I put down the waymarks, but I'll say something like run in, or like stay under the boss towards C, or run out past D, something like that. Again, for the second Sword or Shield Omen, it's very imperative that you press sprint, as if you are not sprinting and you're out too far, there's a chance that you literally just cannot move fast enough. So, save that sprint. That is basically all there is to the first phase. At this time, go ahead and wiggle around. There's a little bit of movement we need to do to make sure that we don't get AFK kicked. Wiggle around, move your camera, move your character, so that you do not get AFK kicked. Now, I'm going to move on to the second and third phases. The second phase is very, very easy, okay? There's one mechanic you need to know, and one mechanic only. And that is going to be the show your whole mechanic. Otherwise known as reading, otherwise known as analysis. It's the thing Masario does, it's the thing that Gabriel does, it's the thing that the ads in DRS do if you don't bring damage actions. But yeah, you're going to have a circle placed around you with a open spot either on the left, the back, or the right. You'll need to point this hole towards any incoming damage. Luckily for you, the incoming damage is always very scripted. There is a raid bite from the center of the arena, followed by a set of line AoEs from the outside. You can see in this image, right here, there's going to be this is basically what's going to happen. There'll be a raid bite from the center. You'll need to point your gap towards the boss in the center. And then there's going to be a set of line AoEs that go off from the left or the right. You'll need to find the turret that is pointing at you and point your hole towards it. Now, this isn't technically a downtime mechanic, but I recommend, if you are new, this is your first time doing it, even if it's your second, third, or fourth time doing it, stop attacking, don't worry about your uptime. Your life is more important, and if you fail both of these, you're probably dead. So again, just focus, stop attacking if you need to, turn your hole. Even on content, people were clearing in rage just fine by not waiting for uptime there. If they don't have to do it, you don't have to do it. That is basically all there is to the second phase. That leads us to the third and final phase, where this graphic comes in handy. So, this is where we're going to use those markers that you see behind us. The first mechanic we're going to need to worry about is going to be for the DPS and tanks. Whenever all the bosses die, just like in normal mode, they're all going to drop back down with the shields on them that will need to be killed. However, unlike in normal mode, there are going to be two other mechanics we need to worry about, the first of which is aura spheres. Aura spheres will spawn at the north and the south. You will need to split the alliance in order to deal with them. If you went to Slime side, you're going to go towards the north aura sphere, and if you went to Golems, you're going to go towards the south aura sphere. What you will need to do, you will need to DPS these down, and if you have an invuln up as a tank, you will need to provoke them and fight for aggro to try and get top aggro. If left alive and not killed, they will kill two random people, so you obviously need to kill it first. However, the person with the top damage on the sphere will also get a red marker of death that will kill them after a couple seconds. But luckily it can be invulned with a tank invuln, like Hollowed Ground, like Holmgang, like Super Bolide, so on and so forth. So, again, DPS, you're just going to focus the aura spheres whenever they are up. Make sure that you focus them down as the #1 DPS priority. And tanks, make sure you are fighting for aggro as you do so, turning on your tank stance if you have an invuln available. That is what the tanks are doing. That's what the tanks and DPS are doing. Once the aura spheres are dead, you can go back to killing the wards. Just make sure to respect Coat of Arms. Coat of Arms does still exist here. They're going to be hexagonal shields that apply a doom stack and knock you back potentially into the death wall if you hit them on the wrong side. Now, healers. If you look behind us, you're going to see a set of markers. Let me remove the D-way marker because we don't use that here. I will need one healer at least on each of the waymarks. One healer at least on each of the waymarks. If you want to stack up on a waymark, then that is a-okay. It just means that there is backup. All healers, if you could please go to one of the waymarks. Need all healers on a waymark. This is where we're going to use those light curtains. Perfect, we have at least one per waymark. Mina, if you want to come to 3. Okay, never mind. Mina, if you want to go to 2. Here. Perfect. Healers. Your job is going to be to reflect the AoEs that appear throughout the arena. There are going to be a bunch of spiritual spheres that are going to appear. There's going to be a total of 12 of them. You will need to pop reflect and kill these orbs. So healers, what I'm going to ask you to do you look into the if you look at the waymarker you are on, that is going to correspond to waymarkers in the arena. Remember the waymarker that you are on. Let me go ahead and put out the real waymarkers. There we go. If you look out into the arena, the waymarkers you were standing on correspond to the waymarkers in the arena. If you were on 1, then you will need to reflect the 2 orbs that are in the 1 marker's general vicinity. If you were on 2, the 2 marker, 3, the 3 marker, 4, the 4 marker. If you were on A, you will need to take care of the orbs that spawn at A and B. And if you were on C, you will need to take care of the ones at C and D. Now there are 2 healers. You can either both go to the same orb to reflect them and just be there as backup for the second orb, back each other up, or you can each take 1 orb, make sure that all the orbs get reflected instantly. Just keep in mind that there are 2 orbs, and if you do not see another healer move to the orb, move to take that orb no matter what. Use the first set to see what healers are going to, what the other healers are taking, and the second set to reflect any that are left over. These reflects are very important, as if they are not reflected, they're going to give everyone a big damage down, and they're going to do a bunch of damage, so make sure that you are focusing on reflecting these orbs healers. I think that's basically all there is to it. If you have any questions, please do ask them. I know it was a lot. If you do not have any questions, walk over to the 4-way marker with me. Additionally, for anyone who brought Mimic holsters, Alrone is going to be our physical target, and Ciel will be our magical target if you guys want to stand off to the side to make yourselves easier to target. Again, if you have questions, ask them, otherwise come over to 4. At this time, healings. I recommend going ahead and slotting in Steel Sting or Spellforge over your Lost or Rise slot. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about, like, running out of a Rise. That probably will not be an issue. It's basically never an issue. Feel free to slot over that, Arise for your Steel Sting or Spellforge. You can start giving that out during the countdown to physical and magical jobs, respectively. Just waiting for movement from Mina Faye. Once you're ready, again, move over to the 4-way mark.
You're asking a question in party chat.
Oh, okay, perfect. Again, if you have a question, please make sure to ask it. There are no bad questions. We want to make sure everything is resolved. So what you would do is, if you have a caster in your party, you want to give them Steel Sting at the start of the fight. If you have a physical job, you want to give Spellforge to them. Once the warrior and the knight drop down, they're going to do a tether between them, either purple or yellow, and we will need to make sure that everyone has the opposite of that. So anyone who deals magical damage, if it is a purple tether, will need the Steel Sting debuff. Will need the Steel Sting buff. And if it's yellow tether, anyone who deals, if it's a yellow tether, anyone who deals physical damage will need the Spellforge buff. So this time, go ahead and give out Steel Sting or Spellforge to anyone who needs it. If you have any hybrid jobs, like Red Mage, Paladin, Dark Knight, anything like that, you can just give them one or the other, and just make sure that they get the other one whenever it is needed. Seems like basically everyone is ready. I'm going to go ahead and start a 30-second countdown. Again, feel free to walk up to the bosses, but do not target them, as if you auto-attack them, they will pull, and we will all be very sad. I'm going to group these up in a nice big pile. Himba will help me. Whenever we pull, get ready to do your big damage actions. You want to use your Fauna Power, your Banner of Honor, and Sacrifice, all of that, and burst them down. And we are starting. Go and pop your potions, do your big damage, group these up in a nice big pile.
Okay.
There might be a couple of raid buys. Feel free to pop any Faint's Atlas Reprisals on these bosses. Do your damage. They're jumping away now. Again, finish off these bosses. We're going to pull the warrior to the wall, the knight to the center. We're pulling the warrior to the wall, the knight to the center. Healers, get ready for your Steel Sing Spell Forge debuffs. Yeah. We're going to apply Steel Sing. Give Steel Sing to everyone who needs it. Give Steel Sing to everyone who needs it. Give out that Steel Sting. Next up is going to be our first tether mechanic. Get ready to check your tethers. Check your tethers now. Check your tethers now. If you are tethered, you're going to a small bomb. If not, you're going to a large bomb. We're getting towards the center of the arena to get knocked back. Go to the center of the arena and get knocked back. Tethers to small, rest to large. If you're tethered, you're going to fall down first. Move or a bomb just exploded. And get back in on the bosses. Next up is going to be a big raid wide from the warrior. If you have any boss sided mid, feint out of reprisal, please use it on the warrior now. Feints out of reprisals, press it on the warrior now. Tier 4 casters, get ready to heal up your party. Tier 4 casters, heal up your party. Next up is going to be our second tether mechanic. This is the one with the in or the out. Again, if you've died, make sure to pop another re-raiser. We want to make sure you have that buff on, if at all possible. Check for a tether. Check for a tether. If you're tethered, you're going to the purple crackly lightning. If you're tethered, you're going to the wind puddle. If not, you're going to the lightning. Tethers to wind, red to lightning. Press sprint and run under the knight. Run under the knight and out past D. Out past D, between D and C. Perfect. Back it on the bosses. Any other boss sided you have on the warrior. Another big raid wide. Pop any boss sided mid. Pop your 2-minute damage actions. Next up is a tank buster. Kill the warrior, please. Focus on the warrior. We need this to die. Big damage on the warrior. Big damage on the warrior. Any damage you have on the warrior. Perfect. Next up is the gunner and the soldier. We're pulling the soldier to the wall, the gunner to the center. Soldier to the wall, gunner to the center.
Damage feels
you can feel free to start with that Steel Sing Spell Forge with any other action, whether that is an Rise or whatever.
That is not me blaming for the fact that I completely forgot to press Lost Excellence.
Our first mechanic, our first show hole mechanic is going to be with the fire frogs. I don't know what they're putting in the water, but it's turning the frogs into fire. It's been 2 years. Surely we can keep this bit going.
True.
Okay, we are moving towards the 4-way marker. Move towards the south. Move towards the south. Check your gap and point it towards the gun in the center. Point it towards the gunner in the center. Now point it towards the turret that is looking at you. Point it towards the turret that is looking at you. Back in on the bosses, we're gonna have a tank buster followed by a raid wide. Little bit of mid. Back in on the bosses. Make sure to get a little more damage on the gunner. We do need them to die at the same time. Here comes a raid wide. Tier 4 caster. Get ready to heal everyone back up. Next up is going to be the turret mechanic. These turrets are going to be the #1 DPS priority. Please focus your damage on the turrets as they once they spawn. Hembo, do you want me to get both? Or
No, I got it.
okay, perfect. Pick up the gun turrets, focus them down. Focus on the gun turrets. Also, keep in mind there's about to be a raid wide, so keep for casters if someone is low, make sure to heal them up. Back in on the bosses, here comes the raid wide. Keep for casters, heal everyone back up. Next up's gonna be the Jhaid Fire or Ice. Get ready to keep moving or stop moving. Stop moving. Spam the escape keys. Stop attacking. Stop moving. Do not do anything. This is a pyretic. Do not do anything. Back in on the bosses. That pyretic will just kill you. Just kill the bosses. Kill the soldier, then the gunner. Kill the soldier, then the gunner. I literally have not called this mechanic in my whole time calling, and this will not be my first, I promise you. Okay, Slimes, North Golem South. If you have a tank invuln up, turn on your tank stance. You're going to fight for aggro on the spheres. Healers, get towards your waymarkers. Get ready to reflect those orbs. Healers, reflect. Everyone else, focus aura spheres. Once the spheres are dead, go to the wards. Stop attacking when you see Coat of Arms applying. Make sure not to hit it on the side with the hexagonal shield. Healers, take all your orbs. A very good job. Yep, do not hit on the side of those hexagonal shields. They will just knock you back into the wall and give you a ruin staff. Stop attacking while Coat of Arms applies. Stop attacking. And back in on the wards. We'll probably need to do the second set of orbs. So get ready. Orbs are spawning. Resolve the orbs. Tanks focus down those spheres. Healers reflect the spheres. Back in on the wards. Attack these sides with no shields. Very good job on the spheres. Rip to Hembo. No one healed. Or I guess he probably just got doomed. I don't know. Go and pick up these chests. These chests are personal loot. Again, I cannot grab them. Oh, he didn't TPN. That's tough. Healers, make sure you stay back and arise. If you're not arising in combat, you should be arising out of it. Any dead bodies can be picked up with Lost Arise, a 15% chance.
Alround, could you maybe pick up the next mimic target? I fucked up my overslot. I can take Queen instead.
Hopefully Alron wasn't... Oh wait, they're melee, so they weren't rampaging.
Yeah. He's got Font power. Should hopefully have enough charges for Font. Just make sure you hold Font usage on this fight, I guess, Alron. And yeah. Okay, once you are done arising, grabbing your chest, all of that, go ahead and head into the next arena.
Yeah.
So what you see in front of you is not a boss, this is a trash fight. Not even in the, like, it'll put you in the trash way. There are basically no mechanics as long as you just listen to calls and play calm. With that said, once you're ready, step between the 1 and the 2 waymark. After the fight, we will be taking a short break. Emphasis on the short. I believe we're getting close to 8:30. Step across the purple line. Again, no breaks here. We'll have a break after this for like 3 minutes. Okay, perfect. Everyone is past the purple line. I'm going to start a nice long 5-second countdown. Tank stance is off, by the way. Tank stance is off unless you're mean. Tank stance is off. Don't worry, literally nothing happens here. Wobble, why are you ripping? Literally nothing's happening here. That's tough. Yeah, I can't compete with that. Next up, we're going to go towards the A waymarker. Head towards the A waymarker. Stand on the A waymarker. There's going to be a donut. It goes fast. I will give you all uptime. Just follow the donut down. Do not go too fast. Do not go too slow. Again, I will give you uptime. Just follow the donut down. The donut goes 1 dot at a time, by the way. So you can just follow the dots down. Stand on the 1 waymark, don't go into the death ball, and move over to 2. Pay off. Move over to 1. Move over to 1. We're going to be standing on 1 for a bit. Use this as a chance to build your job's gauge, by the way. If you need, whether that is your Red Mage gauge, your Warrior Beast gauge, whatever you need, build it now. Or forever hold your peace. We're going to count 3 flashes, then move over to 2. 1, 2, 3, move to 2. Keep building gauge, it's your last chance to do it, but also kill the boss, please. 1, 2, 3, move to 1. Boss is dead. Make sure you grab these personal spoils, as once again they are personal. Up ahead are some traps, but no there aren't. Okay, go down the stairs. Down the stairs are also some traps we will need to make sure to explode very carefully. Okay, there are going to be 2 traps ahead of us that we're going to blow up, 2 traps we're going to leave. Please make sure that you hog the right wall once I go ahead. Do not go ahead of me, hog the right wall. Vinny. And there should be an explosion in front of the door. Perfect, hog the right wall. Hog the right wall. And go on down. Beautiful. Look at that.
Why are we like this? Why are we like this?
2%, huh?
It doesn't
God, I love
exist.
this time. Yeah, there is no 3% chance. It is always an explosion and a mini, or a mini and an explosion.
It's never 2 minutes.
Okay, welcome to Trinity Avowed. Unfortunately, due to the unions weakening power, this will only be a 3-minute break. I can only provide you 3 minutes. So use this time to go use the bathroom, get water, whatever. If for some reason you have nothing to do, I'm going to post the guide for Trinity Avowed for you to look at as well in DRS lane. But that's lame, and that's not science. We're gonna try and be back by, I think, 27, right? They'll have fun knowing that they're on a science run.
I swear these Cure 4s are gonna get me killed if I keep doing them. What I really should have done is a pre-pull Cure 4 instead of post-pull Cure 4.
I'm just shocked that that one Queen's guy just decided to just fuck me in particular. I'm not even dueling.
You're at Cure 4, right?
No! No, I was just doing damage. I was just doing DPS.
Oh, which job are you? Oh, you're only a red mage. You don't
Red
even have like the
mage.
Picto Burst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as union rep, I regret to inform you your union mandate break is over. Let's go and tap back in. Hopefully you are all back. At this time, tanks, you're going to slot over your weakest damage action for a shell 2. So Also, if you are a tank using a banner and a font, you're going to slap that over the Banner of Honored Sacrifice. If you're Blood Raging, you want to keep the Blood Rage slot over your second action. That is not Blood Rage. You're going to look through your parties, give Shell to everyone. Make sure everyone in your party has Shell. Once you have Shell, please step across the purple line. If you do not have Shell, you can step behind the purple line. And tanks, if you see someone click off the Shell too, don't worry. They probably have a good reason to do so. Again, once you have Shell, please step across the purple line. If you don't have it, step behind it. Yo, who has the Shell 1? I want that. What the fuck?
Icon does look a little better.
I mean, I can too, but that's no fun. I know who it probably was. I'm guessing it was Bobble, but...
Nope.
Nope, I'm gritting C4 already.
Sad. Oh, it was actually like someone bringing Shell. Oh, damn. Give it to me, but also just don't bring Shell. Like, don't bring normal Shell. It's literally better to just not bring it than bring Shell 1. Because other people... Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I brought a spare Percept instead of a funny.
Don't worry, that is not even in the top 10 worst holster accidents. There have been cases of people bringing Sacrifice instead of Dervish, Sacrifice instead of Dervish, Sacrifice instead of Cure 4. Like, it's yeah. Dervish Cure 1 didn't use Dervish. That was tough. Okay. Yeah.
There was also Protect and Bubble.
Seems like everyone has Shell who wants it. Again, click off the Shell if you don't need it, like me. Generally, if you're 10 Fortitude, you don't need the Shell, but it can still be nice to have. Tanks, you can go ahead and replace that Shell with your Ether Shield. Everyone should also be re-upping any lost actions, so if you have a Cure 4 that is out of uses, if you have a Rend Armor that's out of uses, if you have a banner, a font, whatever it is, please replace it. The only thing that should still have a lot of charges is a Chain Spell. Yeah. The bags actually do allow for one full Cure 4 action play, so you can literally just spam it. It's real nice. Make sure you replace any actions that are low on charges at this time. I'm going to get started with Trinity Avowed explanations. Now, this is the hardest fight for new people. And that is not because it is fast like Seeker, that's not because there's a lot of explanation, or that's not because it's like super complex like Queen's Guard is. It's because this fight is entirely personal responsibility. Well, for the other fights, I can call basically everything, right? Maybe down to 1 or 2 patterns. For this fight, I cannot tell you what to do. I can just tell you what is happening. You have to resolve it on your own. So with that said, I'm going to go through each of the phases really quickly, surface level. Because ultimately the best way to learn this fight is just through experience and seeing what's happening. I'm going to explain the basics, and hopefully you will do your best to survive. And yeah. So, for this fight, there are a couple of core mechanics that you're going to notice. Just like in normal mode, this fight is based around the temperatures, your hot and your cold. Every single mechanic will give you either a hot 1, hot 2, cold 1, or cold 2. By the end of the mechanic, you will need to end up at 0 temperature in order to survive. However, in the second half of the fight, if we go long enough, which we probably will, there will also be elemental brands. These will apply at the right before your temperature resolves, meaning during the mechanic, instead of getting to neutral temperature, you will have to get to the opposite of your brand so that they cancel out. Whereas before, if you had a fire 2 temperature, you would need to get hit by ice 2. If you have an ice 1, you may need to get hit by ice 1 yourself in order to get to fire 1 to cancel out the ice 1 brand. Finally, there are also going to be some quick marches in this fight. These are force marches. They will send you 2 squares in the direction based on your character's facing. So for example, if I'm standing here, I'm facing forward and I have a leftwards march, I will march 1 tile, and then a little into the second for my force march. If you would like a little table that shows all the possible combinations, or some examples of how to deal with brands, if you look at the top of the guide command, there are those. Now, I'm going to start going over phases from easiest to hardest, and the easiest phase is going to be the staff phase. Staff phase is basically still the same thing as normal mode, actually. So if you remember the meteors falling at the inner cardinals, you happen to go to the meteor you need, it is the same mechanic. However, there are two big differences. The first of which, there is going to be something obstructing you from standing in your meteor. The first time you see it, it is going to be a force march. The second time, there is going to be a set of grid line AoEs that leave only 4 tiles in the entire arena safe. The second problem is that the meteors are going to be much, much bigger, leaving no space to get hit by nothing. So there's no way to just get hit by nothing. You have to go to a meteor. You will have to commit, and hope that you choose right. That's the staff phase. Again, it is the easiest because it is the closest to normal mode, without too many big problems. The next phase I'm going to talk about is going to be the sword phase. Now, sword phase is probably the most different from normal mode. However, luckily it's very easy to explain. If you go ahead and look into DRS learning, I'm going to upload a quick video. It was a GIF, but I liked it in video form better. Of what is going to happen during sword phase. I recommend you go ahead and watch that while I am talking, as it's going to show basically what I'm describing. During sword phase, the boss is going to go untargetable. Going to summon a couple clones so there are 4 Trinity Avoweds. Each one is going to do a half room cleave. There is only going to be one square that is hit by nothing. I will call this the safe square. Let me go and put out the markers that you can see. Let's see, there we go. If you look into the arena, you will see the 1, 2, 3, and 4 way markers. That is for the swords mechanic. I will call it a safe spot, either 1, 2, 3, or 4. This safe spot is the spot that is going to get hit by nothing. If you have resolved your temperature, or you don't need to make any changes, this is where you're going to stop. However, during sword phase, obviously, you're going to have a temperature to resolve. So in order to resolve it, you are going to find the sword that you need. So for example, if I'm an Ice 2 debuff, I need a Fire 2 sword hit, right? I'm going to find that Fire 2 sword. Let's say it's swinging, let's say it's to the right of me, and it's swinging out towards, like, the edge of the arena. If I'm on one, it's to, like, the left of the entire square, and it's swinging to the outside. Then I just need to step out 1 tile right to get hit by it. Please, please, please make sure. Do not step out diagonal of the safe square. If you are diagonal of the safe square, you will explode and die instantly. You will get cleaved by 2 sword hits, they will instantly explode you and send you to death. Do not go diagonal of the safe square. If you were ever diagonal of the square I call, then you are wrong, you are dying. In order to resolve, find the sword hit you need, step out 1 tile adjacent to the safe square, not diagonal, just cardinal, and get hit by that 1 slash. Now, I'm going to give you recommendations on what to do. This is your first time. First of all, wiggle around. Make sure you move around, don't get AFK kicked. Now, actually, first of all, the first time you see swords, what I recommend, there are going to be 2 sets of slashes, but during the first set of swords, you will only ever need to take 1 slash. So, I recommend during the first time, you just sit on the safe square and see what happens for the first set of slashes. Then for the second set, hopefully with having seen it, you'll do a little bit better in finding the safe square. You can even watch the vets and see what they do. For the second set of swords, you can't watch at all. But luckily there is still a very easy system to always fix your temperature. You're going to step out 1. For the first set of swings, you're going to go to the opposite of your temperature. So if you have an Ice 2 temperature, you're going to get hit by Fire 2. If you have a Fire 2 temperature, you're going to get hit by Ice 2. Whatever you need to get hit by the opposite of your temperature. After that, you're going to look at your brand. Let's say you have an Ice 1 brand. You're going to get hit by the opposite of that. So if you have an Ice 1 brand, you get hit by Fire 1. if you follow the system, resolving your temperature, then your brand, you will always resolve your temperature, no matter what. Highly recommend doing it that way. It is by far the easiest way to do it. Doesn't require you to do any mental math or whatever. You just go to the opposite of your temperature, go to the opposite of your brand. Now that is the sword phase, and you might be wondering, wow, that seems hard. What is the hardest bit? How is that not the hardest bit? Well, that is because bow phase is the hardest. During bow phase, it starts out just like normal mode bow. There's going to be a big wall of fire at either D or B. However, like meteors, there's going to be some kind of obstruction. Either you'll have a forced march, or there's going to be a set of grid line AoBs that you need to dodge. Once that goes off, you'll need to go to the safe side, either D or B, and the big wall of fire, instead of doing a lot of damage, will instantly kill you. Then begins the real hard part of bow phase. During bow phase, there are going to be a bunch of arrows that spawn at the north. By the way, while I do this, I'm going to post this image for no reason whatsoever. I highly recommend looking at it. What's going to happen? There's going to be a bunch of arrows that spawn at the opposite side of the arena from you. There's also going to be a set of pipes like going through the big wall of fire. Now this might seem familiar from normal mode, right? However, unlike normal mode, there is going to be no tracer lines to show you where they go. You instead just have to follow the arrows down with the knowledge that they take every turn in the path. So there's a left path that's going to take that, then go down. There's a right path, so then you're going to take that and go down, so on and so forth. Make sure you trace it down, as it's going to take every leap in the ladder, every turn in the pipe, on its way down. Again, I cannot solve this for you. There is no amount of solving I can do for you. I literally cannot call where each arrow is going to land fast enough. So, you make sure that you are tracing it down, and if all else fails, find someone with your same temperature and hope that they know how to do it. Again, if you're new, you're probably going to die. That is a-okay. If you die, make sure you just pop another re-racer, assuming you re-raise. That is basically all I have to say about TA. Again, this fight is hard. If you're new, you're going to die. But once you get used to it, it is very easy, very comfortable. Most vets consider it the easiest fight, once you're used to it. So yeah, if you have any questions, please ask them now. No bad questions, I promise. But if you have no questions, you are ready, step up to the C waymarker. Again, our magical battery is CL, our physical battery is Alrone. CL and Alrone will be standing off to the side for easy mimicking if you are using a mimic holster. Just waiting on movement from Awowo, Izumi, and then obviously William. William has said something. Seems like everyone is ready. Perfect. I'm going to start a 30-second countdown. By the way, if you're not me, turn off your tank stances. This is your last call to turn off tank stances. Make sure to pop some raid food if it's not currently active. Here for casters, you can go ahead and press that lost Cure 4 button to give everyone in your party bravery. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. In an innovative raid design moment, this fight does not start with a raid wide. It does start with a tank buster, so all tanks can go ahead and stack up in front of the boss with me and pop 1 to 2 cooldowns. Next up, everyone can stack up. There's going to be a raid wide. Ether, shield, and mitigate. Ether, shield, and mitigate now. Pop ether shield, pop a little bit of mitigation. Here for casters, heal everyone back up. Chaos ripping, unlucky. Stay in front of the boss. Stay in front of the boss. Stay in front of the boss. No movement needed. Look at that. All plan. Everyone can get back out towards the 2. Get behind the boss. It is facing south. Get north. Now casters, you can pre-position out and away from the boss. get out and away from the boss. Now, melee you can grief for a little bit. We're getting out and away from the boss. Get out now, get out now. No more greeting. Back in on the boss. We're starting in staff phase. Stack up in the center of the arena. Stack up in the center of the arena. Everyone is getting a temperature as well as a force mark. Check your temperature, check your force mark. Stack up in the center, there's going to be a little raid bite. You can press a little bit of party med as a treat if you want. Stack up in the center, find the meteor that you need, and point your force march to it. Stop attacking if needed. Stop attacking if needed. Resolve your force march. Back in on the boss. Back in on the boss. You can stack together in the middle. We're going to stack in front of the boss. Tanks, you can press your ether shield now. Press Faint Auto Reprisal on the boss. Don't use any party side mitigations. And get in front of the boss now. Get in front of the boss now. Tier 4s, make sure you're healing your party. Be in front of the boss. The boss is going to target him about 20 seconds. Use any buffs you have now or hold them. Hold them now. Hold them now. Temperatures are going out and clones are spawning. Clones are spawning. Our first safe spot is going to be on 1. Stay on 1 or go Cardinal of 1 to resolve. If you were on 3, you were instantly exploded to death. 1 is our safe spot, getting hit by nothing. Our second safe spot is going to be the 4-way marker. Go to 4. If you were already resolved, go to 4. If you have no temperature, go to 4. If you need to resolve, go Cardinal of 4. Boss is coming back targetable. Stack up together. Stack together. Get ready to Ether Shield and mitigate. Ether Shield, Faint Auto Reprisals. Ether Shield, Faint Auto Reprisal. And you can start moving south of 3. Tier 4 casters, heal everyone up and move south of 3. Boss is gonna move and turn around, get south of the 3-way marker. Oh no. DDoS. Get behind the boss now, get behind the boss. Look at where she's facing, get behind the boss. Next up is gonna be a tank buster. Tanks get in front, pop a little bit of mitigation. Quick marches are going out. Check your quick march direction. We're gonna use that in just a moment. Check your quick march. We are going towards B. Point your quick march to B now. Stop attacking if you need. Healers, if you see someone die in the firewall, get ready to rescue them should they re-raise. Healers, if you see someone re-raise in the death wall, rescue them. Rescue now. Perfect. Your temperatures are out, and this is where I can no longer help you. Find your temperature, trace it down. Find your temperature, trace it down. For what it's worth, if you have fire 2, you can stand on me. Hope you did it right. If not, oh well, it happens. Go and stack back together. We're going to move towards the center of the arena after this raid bind. Ether Shield, mitigate, then move towards the center of the arena. Next up is going to be our staff 2 mechanic. There's going to be those meteors. Instead of force march, there's going to be a set of grid lines, and this is also going to be your first elemental brand. But first, get out and away from the boss. Get out and away now. Get out away from the boss. How do you get back in? Everyone is in a temperature as well as a brand. Check your temperature and your brand. Again, you need to get it to 0. So add the 2 together and get to the opposite of your brand. Stand in the center of the arena. Get ready to find the meteor you need and walk to it. Find the meteor you need, walk to it, and stand on the outer green tiles. Stand on the east-west green tiles. East-west green tiles. Perfect. If you die, no worries. Go and stack up in front of the boss and kill the boss. Stack up in front of the boss, Ether Shield and mitigate. And kill the boss. stay in front of the boss, and kill it. Perfect. At this time, healers, please find any dead bodies and arise them. Once you're done arising healers, please say in shout chat how many arise trays you have left. So if you have like 5 arise actions in your holster, make sure you say that. I'm gonna go get our mini trap real quick. Oh no, on IBC. That's not good.
Did you already pop the mini?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, good. That would be the worst way for this run to end.
That would be really funny, but also really sad, yeah. So if any tanks wants to go pop that, there is a mini trap somewhere in the room. Pop your info, go find it.
Do you want me to percept it?
I have an extra percept if you want me to percept.
Oh, go ahead, sure, yeah. We'll just go.
Funny.
I believe in you.
It would have been funny, but if we are getting DDoS, parasites, I'm sorry.
Perfect, we have a mini trap. Anyone who wants to go grab that can come grab it. 3, 2, 1, boom.
God damn it.
That's fucked up. I'm like a max height Improg, and I'm still shorter than a Lala mini.
Well, to be fair, I am a max height Lalafell, but you would always be smaller than me. And also I'm faster.
Okay, we have so many arises left over. That's a ton. Go ahead and take the jump pad across, and do not go to Queen. There's a special boss we need to do first.
Who has the mini?
Oh, Chinbo, go. Yes, go.
Go on down and be careful as there are traps ahead. Someone's gonna blow them up. So simply stand just where you start in the loading zone until they are gone.
Bomb.
Flush
Bomb
on
on the
bridge.
bridge. On the bridge. Someone heal Chiron.
All the traps are gone. Go ahead and head up to our Minotaur arena. Okay, who spilled the markers? Who dropped them? Damn it, Wobble.
Who left the banana peel?
Okay, here's our Minotaur markers. We need 1 tank on each marker, 1 tank on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. If you were okay, perfect. We have Hembo backing up. Is that okay? Rosette, no, you can stay there. We'll tell you about it. So we have tanks on 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna mark you with a 1, 2, 3, and 4. You are going to be responsible for kiting a Minotaur. These ads are gonna spawn at the ads phase. You guys know what you're doing. Rosette, what I'm gonna have you do is, during the ads phase, whenever it starts, you're gonna go to the north. And you're going to follow Himbo around. You're going to move over to 2, and then there's going to be this cast called Entrapment. You're going to pop your invuln and run from the 2-way marker to the 3-way marker. There's going to be a trap somewhere in there. Your invuln will just tank it for you. So yeah, your job is just to blow up a trap, run from 2 to 3 with that invuln. Okay, that is tank rolls taken care of. Next up, I will need healers on B or D. If you are a healer with light curtains or reflect, stand on B for deflect. If you're a healer with dispel, stand on D for dispel. If you're willing to use both, please stand in the middle for bow. So again, if you're only willing to deflect, stand on B. If you're only willing to dispel, stand on D. If you're willing to use both, stand in the middle. Perfect, we have so many healers, so we won't need to worry. I'll explain more about that in just a moment as well. So, welcome to the Minotaur. This is the boss that isn't actually a boss. The boss you see in front of you is not the real threat in this fight, and it's not the reason we are going to spend like 5-10 minutes here doing explanation. Oh, I don't have much time. Okay, I actually need to go fast.
Do you have an hour?
Yeah, but like party's probably gonna go up like 15, and also like probably want that like 15-minute buffer, so I can finish in 30 minutes, but yeah. I'm just not gonna spend like 20 minutes doing Mina explains. Okay, so it's going to be the Minotaur. This is not the real boss in front of you though. This boss has an ad space. Whenever the boss hits 70%, this boss in front of you is going to go away, go untargetable, and it's going to summon 4 angry children. These children need to be kept apart. If they get too close to one another, or the boss in the middle, they're going to go much faster. And that is a problem because every auto attack they do will give a ruin stack. Our tanks are going to kite them around so that no one takes autos ideally. However, they still will need to be killed, as once all 4 are killed, we are going to exit the ad space. I'm going to go put out the real markers. Please remember the markers you're on if you signed up for something, or if you volunteered for something. Okay, so at the start of ad space, again, those ads are going to spawn. There's going to be 1 in each cardinal. We're going to pull them out and kite them around. Everyone who is, if you were a healer, you were going to start towards the A, B, C, D way markers. There's going to be a circle of safe spots in there. Circular safe spot around where the A, B, C, D are. Then there's also going to be a second circular safe spot on the far outside of the arena where the 1, 2, 3, and 4 way markers are. If you were someone who went to the slime side, at the start of ad phase, you're going to run towards the 1 way mark. If you start on golems, you're going to go towards the 3 way mark. Same thing as Queen's Guard, slimes north, golem south. Anything that is this like dark blue tile that you notice on the ground, it is going to turn into a death wall. So if you are in this dark blue tile, if you're somewhere in between, you are going to instantly explode and die. Please make sure that you are on one of the safe rings, either on the inner ring where the healers are, or on the 1, 2, 3, 4, or on the 1, 2, 3, 4 ring where everyone else is. Okay, so we know about the ads, we know about them being kited around. However, if that's all there was to it, then we wouldn't have to worry too much because there would be no mechanics to resolve. Unfortunately, there are 3 mechanics I need to tell you about that are going to happen. The first of which is entrapment. Entrapment is a mechanic that is going to put a trap between each of the cardinals on the outer ring. So between 1 and 2, there is going to be a trap, either bomb or poison. Between 2 and 3, there is either going to be an explosion or an explosion or poison trap. Between 3 and 4, the same thing. Between 4 and 1, same thing. Our tanks are going to pop invuln and run between the cardinals, blowing up the traps. Tanks, make sure that if you were assigned, you are popping the invuln and blowing up the trap. Rosette, this is your job. Make sure that you are popping that trap, as if you don't, then people can't go between the cardinals to resolve mechanics. So, that is going to be our first mechanic, entrapment. The resolution for that is very easy. Just stand on the cardinals, if you are on the outer ring. Stand on the 1 way mark or the 3 way mark. Our second mechanic can also be resolved just on the 1 and 3 way marks. However, you will need to step forward or backwards, and that is because it is the Fateful Words mechanic. Whenever the boss casts Fateful Words, it is going to put a debuff on you. This debuff is going to either pull you or push you, based on the boss's positioning, at the end of the mechanic. So, whenever you get those Fateful Words debuff, you will immediately need to check what the debuff is. It will be one of 2 debuffs. I'm going to put an image into DRS Learning. It is already in the guide, but I want to be extra sure you see it. If you look into DRS Learning, there's an image that shows you the 2 debuffs, as well as some notches. So again, you're going to get one of 2 debuffs. The first debuff is going to be the Sacrifice debuff. It is going to pull you in. There's an easy way to know that it's going to pull you in, and that's by looking at the image. The image is going to show you a Minotaur sucking in spaghetti noodles. If it looks like it's sucking you in, if it looks like it's sucking spaghetti noodles, it is also sucking you in. Alternatively, you may get the Wonder Fate debuff that will push you away from the middle of the arena. If you have this, you will get pushed away from the boss, just like he has shoved you down this flight of stairs in the image. If the images don't help you, you can also remember the names and what they do, or you can honestly just hover over them, read the description, and it will say either push or pull. That's how I did it my first few clears. That's what I find easiest at first. And yeah. If you look at the arena right now, you're going to notice that the rings kind of look like these cogwheels, right? Like if you've ever looked inside of any kind of machinery, there's these cogs. And it's going to have notches. There are going to be two sets of notches. Either the inner notches, where Wobble is standing right here, and the outer notches, where most of the party, as well as me now, are standing. If you have this sacrifice debuff, you will need to stand on one of these outer notches and get pulled in. If you were not in an outer notch, if you were anywhere else, whether that be like the path, you're going to get pulled into the death wall. On the other hand, if you have the wander debuff, you're going to get pushed, so you need to be in one of the inner notches so that you get pushed to an outer one. If you were anywhere else, whether that be the path itself or the wrong notch, you are going to get pushed into the death wall. And again, this is a one shot. Yeah. There's also like a texture difference if you look right now. And also it'll be much more defined whenever we actually get in. And whenever the ad space starts, because all of this dark blue is actually going to become purple. That said, I know how bad 14 is for colorblind people. It's tough out here. But yeah. That is the most major mechanic. I hope you pay attention, because that is going to be the number one thing that kills people. Someone's going to die to it, I promise. There is no way around it, assuming we see it go off. And our final mechanic that we might not even see is going to be a Devastating Bolt. Devastating Bolt is going to make everything that is not a notch unsafe. So after the push or pull, you can kind of just stay in the notch that you ended up in and just not move. Devastating Bolt is going to go off. Everything that is not a notch is going to be unsafe. And after that, there's going to be some orange puddles. Just dodge like it's dodging. That's basically all there is. Outside of the ad space, the boss just does simple attacks like Conals, big point blank AoEs, all of that. Just listen to calls and you'll be fine. Ad space has a bit of personal responsibility, but it is not that bad. Just people are gonna die. There's no way around it. With that said, if you have questions, ask them now. Again, there are no bad questions. And if you're ready, step up to the 3-way mark. Yeah, so again, DPS. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. Please hold on to any damage that you have at all until the start of ad space. Anything that your job has that is longer than like a 40-second cooldown, hold on to it. If you have fight or flight, if you have battle litany, if you have technical step, hold on to all of it. Do not press it when we pull. Yeah, we're doing Slimes North Golem South. And yeah, the ads are going to get pulled to you. Just kill the ads as they are brought to you. Pop your big damage bonuses, including your lost actions, as soon as those ads spawn, so that you can kill them dead. Do not press any damage actions when we kill the boss. Waiting for movement from Mina, from Shinohana, and from Tail. Perfect. Yeah. Well, no, the waymark that you're assigned. Because remember, slimes are going north towards the 1-way mark, golems are going south to the 3. So like this waymark that we're on, right here, the 3, this is going to be where the golem gamers are going to start. Okay. With that said, to make sure that you don't pop your lost actions, we're going to do a nice, long, 0-second pullback, countdown. Again, don't use any damage actions. Every time I see a single fauna power, anything I see, it makes me sad. Get away from the big tank buster. And get in towards the boss and pop your knockback immunity. Pop knockback immunity. And get into the bosses. There's going to be a bunch of big conals. Dodge the Medusa javelins, don't get whacked. 1, 2, and 3. Keep doing your 1, 2, 3 combo. Don't spend any big cooldowns. And get out away from the boss. Get all the way away. If you can gap close, you are too close. If you can gap close, you are too close. Perfect. Back in on the boss. Back in on the boss. If you get a marker above your head, take it to an intercardinal. Ideally somewhere that's like blue. Take these out into an intercardinal. Okay, slimes north, golem south. Tanks turn on your stances, get in position. Slimes north, golem south. Tanks provoke and pull your adds out. Pull them to the wall. Pop your damage actions and kill these guys. Kill them with hammers, explode them to death. Healers, please pop, reflect, and stand under the balls of fire, and pop dispel. Okay, everyone get into a cardinal. Get to a cardinal now. Tanks are gonna explode the traps. Get to a cardinal, kill the adds. Everyone is getting their fateful words in just a moment. Fateful words, resolve these. Do your words, stand in the appropriate notch. Stand in the notch, do your word. Do your word. Hopefully you lived. Either way, get into a notch. Get into any
Minutes are
notch.
loose.
Get into any notch. Get into any notch. And move, there are going to be puddles under your feet. Don't get AoE'd, don't get Dofu'd. Stand out of the orange. Kill these last adds, and we are done. Back on the boss, there's a ball of fire on C. Stay away from the ball of fire unless you are reflecting it. Next up is the raid wide that only ever kills the Ireds in the Ired party. Every time someone dies to this, I swear to God. Next up are rapid bolts. If you get a marker, take it out and away from the party. Take these markers out and away. They're gonna leave a puddle, make sure you get out of that too. Next up, big Kono, get out and away. Sorry, big point blank, get out and away. Get out and away. After this goes off, you can get back in on the boss. Back into the boss. Next up, 2 more sets of rapid bolts. Also, the balls don't always spawn on the letterway marks, but they do spawn opposite of each other. So one can spawn between C and B, but it can also, the other will spawn between D and A. 1 more set of rapid bolts, take these out and away. Do not take them on the party, take them out and away. And get away from the proximity. About half the arena away is safe. Get ready to get back in towards the boss after this. Get back in towards the boss and dodge the whacks. Don't get whacked, don't get whacked. Don't get whacked, don't get whacked. This is your last chance to build any job gauge you may want or need. Build your job gauge. Perfect. Do we have any dead left over? No, perfect. At this time, grab your personal spoils and go on to our final encounter against the Queen. Himbo, you should have saved a pretty fast build for Halloween.
Pretty fast bow.
Okay, everyone get out of the arena. Everyone get out of the arena for now. If you need any job gauge, this is your last chance to grab it. I'm gonna pull the boss out of the arena now. This is your last chance to build job gauge. Last chance, last chance, last chance. Get out of the arena, hit the boss for whatever job gauge you need. Don't be in the arena. Don't worry, this raid ride is not going on. No one got Lind, love to see it. Okay, you're free to get back into the arena. At this time, if you need it, first and foremost, if you are someone who does not have any more re-raisers in their holster, nor do they have one active, please come back to the one-way mark, back here. If you don't have any more re-raisers active, you don't have any more in your holster, come back to 1. I have 4 to give away, and some other vets might have more. Give it to the first 4 people I see. Mina, Xanatan, Aoi. Oh wait, I need to stop another one. Hold on. If you already have one active, then I can't give you another one. I can just give you the rebase spot. there we go. That is all the abuse I have. Okay. Now, if you need Shell 2, stand behind the purple line. Once you have Shell 2, stand in front of it. Again, tanks, you're going to give out that Shell 2, slot it over your Ether Shield, because you should have another one in your holster. Once you have Shell, step across the purple line if you actually need it. Okay, while we're giving out Shell, I'm going to start explaining. Welcome to Queen. I know my explanations have been long, but luckily, this one is actually going to be pretty short, as there are literally 2.5 things I need to explain. However, those 2.5 things are pretty important, so make sure you pay attention as I explain. The first thing I need to explain is going to be the waymarks that I use. Okay, here we go. Here's the waymarks I use to call Queen. These are the battleship markers, aka the chess markers, or whatever else you want to call them. How I call is by calling the intersection of the column and the row. Just like, I don't know, you hopefully took math, like in school. It's like a graph, or if you ever played Battleship. For example, this tile I'm standing right here is the B4 tile, because it's the B column, the 4 row. This square right here is the A4 column, and this tile is just the 4 tile. I will call based on that. However, if you really can't stomach trying to follow that, I also have the ignore one on my head. You can follow me for most mechanics that just are like group position. But yeah, that's the half of the thing. I have 2 mechanics to explain, and then we will get started. So, the first mechanic I need to explain is super chats. So, we might or might not see this twice. This is a mechanic that happens, potentially 2 times. The boss is going to go untargetable, give you 2 debuffs, and require you to figure it out. So, what's going to happen? Again, you're going to get 2 debuffs. If you look into DRS Learning, you can see the guide. As I was saying, if you look into DRS Learning, you can see the guides. Notably, this image right here shows you all the potential debuffs and combos you can get. You will have 2 debuffs of the 2, 3, and 4 variety. You will never have 2 of the same debuff. So you can only ever have a total of 5, 6, or 7. This total is what's very important, okay? You will need to figure out your total and stand on the tile I tell you based on them. So for example, I might say something like 5s to A4, 6s to B4, 7s to C4. Or I might say something like 6s to 4, 7s to A4, 5s to B1. Again, based on your total, that determines where you need to stand, okay? There will also probably be vets marking themselves with the hex 5, the hex 6, the hex 7. So you can also look out for those. So if you're a 7, for example, you might want to stand on the hex 7 on their head. Now, that is the very beginning, but that is the most important, okay? But based on that debuff, okay, you will need to move a certain number of tiles. Okay, and this is never gonna happen. You'll never actually get this, like, possible combination. But for example, and like this movement. Let's say, for example, you're a 5, and I told you to stand on A4. Once you get dots above your head, I'm gonna tell you where to move. So for example, I might say to move up the number column. Or I might say to move up the A column. For example, if I say 5s on A4, stand, walk up the number column, you would walk into this column with like the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, and then you'd move up it. How do you know how far you move up though? That is a very important question. You will look at the dots above your head. So as a 5, for example, I might have 2 dots above my head, right? I move into the number column, I have a 1 dot on my head now. I move up to the 3 column, and my dots disappear. At this time, you need to stop moving. You're going to move until your dots disappear and no further, okay? If you keep moving, so for example, let's say I walked this way, I would not only die the death wall, but I would also get a big red spike above my head. This red spike indicates that I die in 3 seconds if I don't move back to it. So again, take it one tile at a time, go slowly, walk into and up the column I tell you until your dots disappear and no further. If you get the red spike above your head, you need to move back. If you still have dots above your head, you need to move another tile. It's very important that you do this step properly, because again, if you do it wrong, you insta-die. Like there's no coming back. Once you've done that though, it's very easy. You'll get stunned, you'll come back with more dots above your head, but you actually don't need to care about these dots, because no matter what, you're going to move into the big glowing tile that's going to be either on B or B4. Once you see that glowing tile appear, and it like the entire arena is like really dark, you're going to move to that glowing tile no matter what and end there. So again, to recap super chats, check your debuffs, add them together. You'll either get a 5, a 6, or a 7. Stand where I tell you based on that total. For example, 5's to 3, 6 is to 4, 7's to A4. I will then, once you get dots above your head, tell you the column to move up. You're going to move up that column until your dots disappear and no further. No further. Once you move that far, after a little bit of time, you'll be stunned. Big glowing tile in the north or the south, you'll move into that tile no matter what. That's Super Chest. That is the most important mechanic. That is the one and only super like personal responsibility mechanic. Everything else is going to be a Queen's Guard mechanic, basically. Now, there's one other mechanic I need to talk about, and that is going to be the gauge that appears on your screen. After Super Chest, or if we somehow skip it, which we probably won't, after the first Super Chest is going to be a gauge that appears on your screen. When that gauge hits 100, the bot's going to do a big raid wide, and it's going to, the bot's going to summon a bunch of lightning orbs around the arena. This is why everyone has light curtains, okay? If you look in your holster, you'll notice that even as a DPS, even as a tank, you have 3 light curtains, okay? What I recommend now, go ahead and click and drag them onto your hotbar. Any open space you have, just put a light curtain there. Whenever I call it press light curtains, just click that on your hotbar. What the light curtains are going to do, the lightning orbs are going to do big AoEs around them, and if you don't have a light curtain active, you will instantly explode and die. However, if you pop a light curtain and stand under it, then you are perfectly safe. If you have a light curtain active, you literally don't need to care about what you're standing. However, if you do not have any light curtains, I, the Ignore One, will walk you to safety. Just follow the Ignore One if you do not have a light curtain, and you will be safe. And as Wobble said, please keep in mind that the light curtain is a GCD. So if you're doing your basic rotation and you try to click a light curtain, it won't go off until you are done with your GCD. Okay, that is basically all the explanations I have to do. Everything else in this fight is literally just listen to me and keep in mind the Queen's Guard mechanics. So yeah, if you have any questions, ask them. Otherwise, stack up on the B4 tile. Unfortunately, I don't think the CIA would like it very much if I said stand on the C4 tile. Mostly the FBI actually, but...
Make sure to stand up 4 tile.
Yeah, do that. Yep, and our physical battery for this fight should be Twimble. Our magical battery is going to be Eureka Gremlin. You could stand off to the side just to make it easier to mimic you. And we're just waiting on Sharon to come back. By the way, tanks, slot your ether shield over that shell now, and we will be good. If If you haven't already, make sure to wiggle around. Make sure you don't get AFK kicked. It'd be very sad to get all this way and then get AFK kicked. I would feel really bad. Okay, Chirin is back. Perfect. At this time, go and pop some raid food if you haven't. This is the last raid food you will need for the entire instance. If everything goes well, assuming I don't somehow miscall or DC, we'll be fine. If I do DC, I mean, there are other people who can pick up worst case, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start a nice long 30-second countdown. At this time, turn off your tank stances. Pop raid food if you haven't. Tank stances off. Double check your Cardi's Carbuncle's dance partners. Last chance to do so. Get ready with potions and lost actions. We want to do as much damage as possible when we pull the boss. Everyone can stack up on the ignore 1 as we pull. Don't do it right now. I'm at like max pull range. We're about to pull the boss. Again, this boss starts with a raid bite. Boss is getting pulled, stacked together. Go ahead and Ether Shield. Ether Shield, Faint Auto Reprisal. Faint Auto Reprisal, press Ether Shield. Next up is going to be Chest 1. Okay, I'm going to call safe spots for you. Simply follow the ignore 1 or go to the safe spot. 1, 4... Numbers, center. Okay, we actually have a really good pattern here, hopefully. Okay, we're going to the east. Stand on this back half of C2. Back half of C2. Back half of C2. Do not be on the back. You can be on the back wall if you want, actually. Next up, we can stay right here. Stay right here. Nice and easy chest pattern. Actually good. Okay, next up is going to be our first tank buster. Literally no need to worry about it. I just pop my invuln. Nice and easy. Okay, next up is going to be a raid bite stacked together. Get ready to Ether Shield, Faint Auto Reprisal. Ether Shield, Faint Auto Reprisal. We're actually pretty close to skipping, but I don't think we're gonna make it happen. We might. No, we're not going to. Okay, we're going into Super Chest. The boss is going to go untargetable. Get ready to check your debuffs, and we're going to be turning our camera towards B. Turn your camera towards B. Back is safe, wall is unsafe. 5s are going to A4. 6s are going to B4. 7s can go to C4. 5s to A4, 6s to B4, 7s to C4. Wait for the dots to appear above your head. When they appear, we're moving up the A column. Move into and up the A column until your dots disappear and no further. If you get a red spike, move back. If you get a red spike, move back. Red spike, move back. Red spike, move back. Okay, perfect. As soon as you can move again, move into that big glowing safe tile no matter what. Move into that big glowing safe tile no matter what. Whether your dots disappear or not, whether you get the red spike or not, move into the safe tile. Okay, boss is gonna come back with a raid wide. Stack together, get ready to pop your 2-minute cooldowns. Pop those big 2-minute cooldowns. Stack together, pop these big 2-minute cooldowns. Ether Shield, Ether Shield, Ether Shield. Okay, next up. If you have a light curtain, you're gonna pop it when this bar hits 100. If not, you can follow the ignore 1. Again, if you have a light curtain, get ready to pop it. If not, stand on the ignore 1 whenever we see them appear. Pop light curtains now. Ignore 1 is safe. Ignore 1 is safe. Okay, move into any bubble. Move into any of the big bubbles. Be in a bubble. Perfect. We can go ahead and stack up in the center of the arena. Stack up in the center. Good job on dispels, even though I said nothing about it. Godspeed. Okay, here comes our first Queen's Guard mechanic. Check for a tether. Check for a tether. Tethers are going to wind, rest to lightning. This is going to be a show your hole mechanic. We are heading towards the west wall. Head to the west wall, tethers to wind, rest to lightning. Point your gap towards A1, gap to A1, gap to A1, A1. Now to the turret that's looking at you. Perfect. Back in on the boss, back in on the boss. If you died, pop a re-raiser. And we're about to go into downtime, so hold your 2-minute buffs. Hold any damage actions you have coming up that are longer than 30 seconds. Anything longer than 30 seconds, hold onto it. We're going to use it after this downtime mechanic. Stack in the center of the arena. Do not use your 2-minute cooldown. Do not use your cooldowns at all. Stack up nice and tight in the center. We're going to go bowling. This is the same knockback from Queen's Guard. We're going to get knocked back. Nice and easy pattern. Yep, knockback. With the ignore 1, just stand on me and you are safe. Perfect. Next up, run towards the queen. Small safe spot on ignore 1. D3 is safe. Small safe spot on ignore 1. Small safe spot. Beautiful. Look at that. Boss coming back. Pop your potions. Pop your 2 minutes. Pop any damage you have stacked together. Do big damage. Ether shield as well. All your damage, pop it now. Okay, boss going untargetable if we see this. If not, then lovely.
Nope.
We're not gonna see this. You love to see it. Perfect. Congratulations on your clears. We have quite a few dead bodies. I'm gonna get 2 people up at this time. Do not leave the instance just yet. There's a couple things we'd like to do. First of which, making sure to grab that chest at the end. That chest is going to have a random full augment, okay? So one of those full augments you need for the augmented Lost Order, it's going to have one of those at random. Could be any piece. In addition, it's going to have a quote-unquote very rare minion that I definitely don't struggle to sell because I have like 50 of them on the market board. Make sure you grab that chest. Oh, let me grab the chest before I do the instance. We're going to make sure everyone gets back up, and then once you've done that, there's the option to take a picture at the back. However, I'm not there because I had a doom, so feel free to take it or not, or leave or not. Additionally, once you have left the instance, you can grab your Cerberus mount from the achievements menu. Feel free to take a picture of that if you would like as well. And finally, if you enjoyed this, there's a final re-clear to end out the marathon after this. Oh, Shell's already got the party finder up. That's real fast. Okay. Jeff is up for that, so feel free to leave the party. And by that I mean I'm disbanding the party. Feel free to join that if you would like. Just keep in mind the holsters are different. You will need to bring different actions and you are expected to use them. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, you just do have to try to use them. With that said, thank you all for coming out. Again, I hope you enjoyed, hope you had fun. If you would like more runs, there are always more runs. There's a cross-CC schedule. If you check the schedules channel, it is in there. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on more runs. This content's real fun.